Okay. I noticed from all my recordings, I went through all my recordings, that the first thing I say after starting the recording is the word okay. So I just did it again. So
Okay.
we're going to be working with tabular reports. So I'm going to add a project to put the report in. And it's going to be whichever one is not duplicated. I wonder if I can do 5. And this is DE for the report we're going to create is R5543 TAB. And apparently 5 is in use, so I'm going to go to 6, see if that works. Okay. 0, 1, 55, and E, and I have my project. Now, do you both have the exercise thing open, the Word document?
Yeah, but I'm watching you instead.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to point out that, so let's go over that a second. You need to create a report that requires multiple level breaks and automatic totaling. That right there implies a tabular section. Then it tells us what we want to include: invoice number, description are going to reside in the first column of the report. You will also need to see the order type, address number, amount open, order date, and comments. The comments column is needed for indicating when a manager's approval is required and will be populated using an event rule. And you want the data sorted by invoice number, blah, blah, blah. You would also like to create a summary version of the report and utilize the drill down feature to allow you to launch the application where the data resides. Now, before you begin, so I'm going to skip performance objectives, and it says before you begin, become familiar with the row description column. I'm not sure what it's wanting me to tell you about the report description. Maybe, perhaps I'll learn what it is they want me to tell you later. Understand how level breaks work in a tabular section. Again, I don't know, since I've worked with it so few times. It says, remember that tabular sections have automatic totaling. We knew that. Understand that because of the different way a tabular report is processed, column inclusion is the event most often used instead of due section. Okay, it's true that in a tabular report, most of the columns are what are called, have smart fields attached to them. And because of that, column inclusion is something we'll discuss, but your level of understanding is not going to be that great, because I don't understand it all that great. And so my instruction is going to be somewhat following the recipe book. Okay, so steps to complete the directed exercise. We're going to create a new report template. So I'm going to go to my project and highlight it, and I'm going to add a report, batch application, say okay. And it's going to be R5543 TAB, and the name is going to be open purchase order listing. Product code is going to be 55. And it's going to be an update report. So I'm assuming you guys will stop me if I start to move to a different screen and you're not ready. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Okay, so now we're just going to go into start report design aid. And of course, the director is going to pop up. Okay, so with page header checked, and we're going to check tabular button down here. We're going to go ahead and hit next. And then the header information, default header information should be good. Hit next. I'll find the business view myself. Next. I'm going to type in V4311A. And with it selected, hit next.
This might take a minute. Mine's still thinking about it for about a minute and a half already.
Okay. So while this is coming up, I'm going to say a few things. That one of the notes I noticed is that when it opens up, the first column is already chosen for you, and it's called the row description column. It is a default column which uses part of the tabular logic to identify its contents. And it is a special column, and we'll see what happens to it when we actually run things. So until then, it's going to kind of be an enigma for us. Okay, so now I'm going to add the DCTO from the 4311 table, the AN8, the AOPN, and then TRDJ. It's TRDJ. Okay, and once those are all in and in the proper order, I'm going to hit next and go to data sequencing. And the sequencing is going to be by DOCO of the 4311. And then the second item, which is LITM. LITM, there's LITM. Pass it over to the right. They're in the right order. So I'm going to say next. sort properties for each of those. I'm making them level breaks, so I can click on that and go to next. Okay, so we're gonna do where amount open is greater than 0. And order type is equal to OP. I'm just going to type in OP on single value. Okay. And status code next. Is not equal to 999. And so 999, yeah, is complete. It means this, it means the order has not been completed. So it doesn't need to display orders that have been all completed. Let's see, and line type. Line type is equal to, and it's asking only to show stock items. And address number. Now this is one just to limit the report a little bit. AN8, it only wants to look at certain vendors. So is equal to, and we're going to go literal, and we're going to use a range of values for 43, 41 to 43, 45. Now this might be different for you guys. Did you do this?
Yes,
Okay.
Chris.
And then last
Yep.
is date, order transaction is between range of values 6/1/2005 and 6/8/2005. And I'm going to say okay. And hopefully you have yours looking like that. Go ahead and hit the next. And yes, create a version. Finish, and it's going to go process it. And there's our report. We want to insert an alpha variable as the last column. So we can either not highlight any column and it'll put it in first place, and we can drag and drop the alpha variable over to the right, or we could just highlight the order date and then go up here to the alpha variable, click on it, and it'll add it down below. And change the name of the constant to comments. Well, I'm going to change the variable name here too. This isn't part of it, but sometimes it can be confusing. So but the column heading I'm changing to comments, and then heading 2, I'm just going to blank out and say okay. Oh, and it's saying change the variable name to comments, but I'm going to do that when I highlight the lower part. And I'm going to change that to comments. And I'm going to change the display length to 40. And that's under display. And change it to 40 and say okay. And let's see. Oh, and also it says suppress at totals for column variables order type. So I'm going to double click on order type and then go over here to advanced and say suppress at totals. I'm going to check mark that. You guys good with that?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to say okay and do the same thing for comments. Double click on it, go to advanced and suppress at totals. And it says change all column headings and variable properties to match the report example. So I'm going to see if I can find the report example here somewhere. So here we've got a couple of changes to do for this first column. It's going to be changed to order number and then ampersand space description. The second one is going to be order type. The third one is going to be supplier number. Supplier. Oh, here we go. Listen. I'm going to override. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's what I'm doing wrong. I'm highlighting the value instead of the label above. So I want to change address number to supplier number. And then amount open is good. Order date is good. And comments is good. Okay. Save the report template. And then it says text variables. An event rule is needed in the tabular section. What does the event rule need to do? Insert a comment in the comment column. Okay. Insert a comment in the comment column. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find and create two text variables. And under section here, you can go down to something called text variables. And so this is a way of inserting values in the whole report. It's kind of a variable without a name. And so we're going to select this. And the first, let's see where it says, enter the following values. Okay. So we're going to do needs, purchasing, MGR, approval. And then I'm going to add. And down below that, review with general manager. So once you have that, hit OK. It's a let's. Why does it say add? I wonder what happens if I just hit OK and go back into section text variables. Yeah, they're both there. So hitting OK is entirely adequate. And so now we need to go into event rules. So the thing we're going to do, here we go, is we're going to right mouse click on comments and go into event rules. This report must be saved. Okay, do you wish to save this report? I'll say yes. And then I'm going to look in the drop down for column inclusion. And it's the second one here. And you guys know me, I always like to put a blank comment in as the first thing, as the first line. So what I'm going to now do is if BC amount open is greater than, that's an if statement. So I'm going to go to the question mark and I'm going to say if BC amount open. So BC amount open, which is this one right here. I'm going to double click on it. It's going to enter it here up in the left operand and go to comparison. And is greater than or equal to, I'm going to double click that so that it'll put it in here and then proceed to the right operand. And that right operand is going to be 500. So I'm going to go literal. And then I'm just going to type 500 and say, okay. and then and I'm going to drag that square open. It's always easier for me to find. BC amount open is less than, and literal again for 1,000. Now you let me know when you have this entered. When you have this looking good, you can hit the OK button and you'll see it pop right in here. And let me know you've done that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And so you get an else and an end if. So now for here, we're going to do the now create an assignment using the text variables you just created. And we're going to say, okay, an assignment is the X equals. So we're going to click on the X equals. And I'm going to show you a real neat thing here. I can scroll down to RVs. But if you click in here and click the R, it'll take you to the first set of R's it finds. If I do it a whole bunch of times, it'll take us right down to report variables. And I'm going to say report comments equals, and I think I can do the same thing here. I can go down, type the letter T, and it takes us need purchasing manager approval. And once it pops in there, both the to object and the front object literal, I'm going to say, okay. Now, since I don't have an else case, I'm going to delete the else button by highlighting it and hitting the trash can up here. And now I am going to, I can just write the next lines, which is another if statement and another assignment statement. But I can, it might be a different amount of work. I'm going to select the top line, hold the left shift key down and select the end if. And I'm going to hit copy. And then I'm going to click, I'm going to highlight the end if and hit paste. And now I'm just going to change this bottom part to meet what it's asking me to do in the exercises, which is instead of greater than or equal to 500 and less than 1,000, this one is just going to be greater than or equal to 1,000. So I'm going to go here. I don't need this second line, so I'm going to delete it. And this is greater than or equal to, instead of 500, I'm going to change this to 1,000 and say, okay. Now, does that make sense what I did?
Yes.
Okay. And then the RV comments needs to be changed to review with general manager. So it's going to be this one. Now, in the exercises, it shows the first RV comments assignment with the double quotes around the TV thing, the text variable. And then the second time it shows it with two sets of double quotes. I have no idea why they want to do that, because we're assigning it to the TV value. Okay, your tabular report is now complete. So I'm going to save and exit the event rules. And then I'm going to save my report template. And then let's notice there's a couple of extra columns here under tabular, but we're going to try this, see what preview does. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring up print queue. And there's 646. Yep, that's my preview. Let's see what pops up. So it says no data selected. So I'm gonna have to look to see why there's no data selected. Did you guys get the same thing?
Yeah, mine came out the same way.
Yeah,
Okay.
mine came out the same way.
So if you, I have to think about why. So I need to go back to the data selection. I'm going to pull up Universal Table Browser. So I'm going to go back to my Solution Explorer and type in UTB here in the fast path and hit enter. It's going to bring up the Universal Table Browser. And I am going to open up the F4311. So I'm going to open table F4311. And let's see if I get data. So I'm getting data. Okay, so it says amount open is greater than 0. So I'm going to look for that. PD is the prefix. So I'm going to look for that AOPN. There's UOPN. There's AOPN. And AOPN has to be, since I can't put greater than 0 because it'll just go away, I'm going to say greater than 1 cent, greater than 0.01. And I get records. The next is the order type has to be OP. The order type is DCTO. So let's see if we have any OPs.
Okay.
and it's finding them. Now the status code, which is NXTR, is not equal to 999. There's NXTR. So in order to say not equal to, you do the bang and then 999. And let's see if we have anything. So we're still getting data there.
Well, so is the order type equal to the purchase order? Because if those aren't equal, then it's not going to show up. You
Say that again.
well, the second one on there is order type is equal to purchase order. Did you make sure that the numbers are equal, or just that they're there?
Well, this is the field for order type, and I put in a literal OP.
Okay.
So that's what it's asking for. If the order type is equal to OP,
Yeah.
all right, line type is equal to stock. Now line type, yeah, there's S's there. And I'm getting data there. And address number, let's see if I can find, there's, where was it? I had address number right there. There's address number. I'm gonna hold my left mouse key down and drag it over to the left just so it's available. And there's 43, 43, 40. So these are valid. And let's grab our date order transaction, which is, I believe it's TRDJ. So I'm going to drag that over here as well. And now I'm looking for something between 6.1 and 6.7. And I'm getting some of those, so I should be getting something in my output. So can you think of any reason I'm not getting data?
Nope.
Okay,
Did you? I don't know. Did you check the dates? Sorry,
well, there's the dates right there. I just
I was
showed you.
going back over logic. I was.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So let's go back into our report design and exit and have it create that version. Now I'm going to go to object. I'm going to go to version list. And I'm going to run it from here. Submit. On screen is okay. And there I'm, looks like still nothing. So I'm going to go back in and look at that data select, or actually I can go from right here. I can look at the data selection. Open is greater than 0. Order type DCTO. 4311 is equal to OP. Not equal to 999 is equal to S. AN8 is equal to 4341 to 4345. And BC date order transaction is 6105 to 6805. So here's what I would start doing. I am going to run it, and I'm going to delete some of the data selection. Like I'm going to start with deleting the date. Maybe the date's not working for me, and see if I get any data. And it looks like 655. It looks like it's slightly larger, but there's a text document here. I don't know what that's telling me. Let me open this up first to see if it tells me anything. So I'm getting data now. And something about that date didn't work. So I'm going to go back to my actually, I'm just going to do it from Object Management Workbench, version list. I'm going to select, hit data selection, submit. Let's see if it's something, because I noticed they put in 05. I don't think that solves it. No, see, it still leaves it 2005. Let me look at that output. The output 4510, 4504, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I put 4341 to 4345. So I'm going to delete that, see what happens. Nope, that's going to give me no data because it's the same size as these two down here. So it's going to say no data selected. So I'm just going to close those. Oh no, I was looking at the wrong thing. Here's the supplier numbers, 43, 43, 44, 43, 44, 43, 45. Oh, the order dates are showing up as 6/7/2017.
And 2012 is the earliest. (2009)
There's the 2012s. Do we have any 05s? Search, where do I search? I thought there was a place I could search in a PDF. Okay, well, let's see what's about that order date, because it's saying 2/14/2022. Maybe we put in the wrong date. No, there's the. Oh, now that I look at it. Let's see if I'm looking at, this is date transaction. That's date requested. Schedule pick date. Date original promised. Interesting. So, oh, okay. I have an idea of what's going on. So, yeah, that's kind of stupid of me. So let's take out that date. And let's put in, instead of, what is it, 6/1 to 6/8/05. Let's put in 6/1 to 6/15/2017 for the data selection. So go back into design and right mouse click, go to Divine Data Selection. And we're going to change this date literal range to say 6/1/2017. And we may as well just do 6/8/2017 and say okay. And I'll tell you why, because I'm an idiot. Let me know when you've done that.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. So the reason is because the training materials we're using
That makes sense.
are from a really old version of this data, and they just updated it to, since we're running demo junior in what's called E9.2.
Yeah.
That's only a few years old, and they didn't want the users to be thrown by the fact that we're dealing with something, we're looking at purchase orders from 20 years ago.
Right.
So let's change it to 2017 and say okay and save. And let's try the preview again, see if we get something.
It went perfectly for me this time.
I ran into a glitch and almost caught back up. I noticed that once everything was loaded and I went back through it, it didn't take 15 minutes to load 20 minutes to load everything, you know. But other than that, it went fine.
Okay, so, and now we can also look at anything that's between 500 and 1,000. It says needs purchasing manager approval, and anything that's over 1,000, like these
Review
down,
with the manager.
have review with general manager.
That's cool.
Okay, and notice we did no coding at all to get these totals
Hmm.
for each of these orders, purchase orders, order numbers. And so all that's automatic totaling. And then, well, it's 8 o'clock, so
All right, goodbye.
we are going to pause here. And when we come back, we're going to work on activating the drilled in
Okay.
and see if we can make that work. So, any questions on this?
Not at the moment.
Okay.